We're back at it again here on Spellhammer Farms, and today we're going to find out how much money we can get in our bank account from this silage, which still hasn't quite fermented yet, but that's okay. The question is, can we get close to $100,000? I'm not entirely sure how much we have in here now that we've tarped it up. It's actually not going to tell me until it's fully fermented. But I think we can get close. I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. While we're waiting for this to ferment, I don't know that we have anything else to do. We might have some lettuce we could sell. Let's pop up there real quick and take a look. Otherwise, I'll probably just speed up the time a bit to make things go a little bit faster, because we do have a lot of work ahead of us with hauling this silage off. Though much less work because of our borrowed tractor and trailer there. Let's pop up here and see. I think we do have maybe one pallet of lettuce, but there's nothing else pressing at the moment that we need to do. And actually, no pallets of lettuce. So with that, we're going to head back here and figure out how to speed time up a bit. I'm not sure if there's a shortcut for it, but I'm almost positive I can change it here in the general settings. Let's take a look here. Maybe it's in the game settings instead. Yeah, here's the timescale. Let's go ahead and speed this up to 30. And we'll have to keep an eye on that silage, make sure time doesn't run away from us. I'm not sure how fast it goes, if it's a certain percentage per minute or something like that. Let's go over here and take a look. Still at 88, so that's not going to be fast enough, though that just jumped to 92. Did this jump too? Okay. It's jumping more than 1% at a time. Let's bump that up to 120. Just briefly. Until we get 100%. I don't really consider this cheating, because we could just sleep and then it would be 100% fermented, but then we would lose a whole day basically, and I don't see the point in doing that. %. We're moving right along. I'm being rather conservative with my speed increase because I don't want it to kind of run away on me and lose a bunch of daylight. It says it's done. Perfect. So let's step that back down to 5x. I wonder if you can let me know, if you're watching this, how fast is the time scale when you play? Because I've found with some bigger jobs that 5x can actually be a little too fast, especially when I'm doing a root crop, which we all know can take a long time. Let's go ahead and open this up. 46,000 liters. And then this one is 101,000 liters. This is going to be a great day income-wise. Let's get our conveyor system set up here. I always forget which way is forward and which way is backward. Get in position right about in the middle of this first front section, because it does have a fairly wide pickup area, which is nice. It saves me a lot of work repositioning these. Let's do the same with this auger. Get it positioned right under the end of that conveyor belt. It might just start going unless the auger is full. Okay, now let's get our first trailer under there and get it filled up. That's not at all what I want. I do not want you to load up chaff. I believe that's what that is. So we're going to have to unload this here. Oh no, is that going to hit my pipe? Sure is. Let's reverse, reverse, reverse. Ooh, that was close. There we go. And let's try again. Maybe it just had a little bit left over in there. All right, now. Let's be reasonable. Why aren't you going? I feel like I did this last time too. Maybe it's this guy. Oh, I have to turn it on. Of course. It's always shocking to me when farming equipment has to actually be turned on to start working. You would think I would learn my lesson. Let's go ahead and let that fill up, and then we'll be able to haul it off to the store and make our first bit of cash for today. And while we're hauling this one off, we can actually have our other one, our borrowed tractor and trailer, filling up, which actually holds quite a bit more than the one we have. We'll pull this forward and get in position. It does scare me to be so close to the interstate, but only because I'm thinking about how scary interstates are in real life. If I was this close to an interstate in real life, I would be terrified. But these cars actually aren't going too fast. There it goes, filling right up. And over here, we do have a little bit of a mess on our hands, but I think it will start grabbing these bits close to the edge and up here under the conveyor belt once it exhausts the kind of the central portions. Yeah, it looks like it's starting to. So that is good. We're probably close to full. I think we can hold 16,000 liters. Maybe more than that. No, we can hold quite a bit more than that. Maybe 20-something thousand. We got a little bit of light snow coming down. Very nice. Now we should be just about full. Let's wait and watch that pipe stop filling up. Once it does that, we'll pull forward and get this other tractor in position. It just keeps going and going until I said that, and then it stopped. Let's pull forward, get the other one in the position we need it in, and then we can go ahead and haul this load off to the plant to sell it. And if you're wondering what this is over here, in a previous episode, I completed a potato contract, but it actually broke and wouldn't let me turn in the contract and also let me keep the equipment. So these are just sitting here on somebody else's property because they're technically not mine. But this one we borrowed because we're pretending that the biogas plant loans it out to us, taking advantage of a very frustrating situation with that broken contract. Ooh, and this tractor really does struggle with a full trailer. Let's go ahead and get this off to the biogas plant. I sure hope I'm calling that the right thing. Let me double check that. What is that actually called where I'm selling this? Yes, it is a biogas plant. Perfect. So now that I know I'm calling it the right thing, we can move on and get this first trailer load sold. There we go. And we should get about $12,500 for this, I think. If Silage is still selling at $500 a liter, which it may not be. The season has changed, so it might be a little bit different than previously. But we're still getting a very healthy amount. 14,603, so I guess the price must be up a little bit. That's okay with me. Apparently selling silage in the wintertime is a good racket. By now, hopefully our other trailer is ready to haul off, so we'll have a nice rotation going. I could also hire a worker to do some of this, but I don't really see the need at the moment. Maybe if we start dealing with more silage, I could start hiring workers to haul silage off for me. But for now, I don't really see the need to do that, so we're just going to do it ourselves and enjoy the process. It looks like that other trailer is full. Perfect timing. So we'll just get in position behind it, scooch it out of the way, and then slide on in underneath that auger. We may need to reposition our conveyors, but I'm not sure we're to that point just yet. Get on over here, little fella. You can sit right about there, and I'll be back for you in just a minute. Hop on over to our John Deere. That snow is really coming down. I expect next month we'll have some snow on the ground, which I still have never really dealt with snow as far as plowing it or anything. I kind of just work my way through the snowy months and don't worry too much about it. Let's leave that and haul this one off. There's going to be a lot of driving in this episode, but that's okay. It's all part of the silage game. I do wonder though if silage bales would end up being less work. They certainly wouldn't if I did not use an auto load trailer, which would be very tempting. Because if I did use an auto load trailer, it would be much faster than this, I think. I'm not sure how many liters in total I can fit in one load. That would be the deciding factor. Because here I'm hauling 40,000 liters at one time. Now, admitted, this is not technically my equipment, and there's no way I would have this if I hadn't lucked into it and borrowed it from the biogas plant. But that being said, if silage bales are big enough and I can fit enough of them on one auto load trailer, it probably would be faster to haul those over here rather than hauling the raw silage. And here goes load number 2. This will be a very good one. Very good. Let's go ahead and watch that money roll in. Wow, that dumped really fast, and we ended up with $22,917. Now remember at the beginning of the episode, I asked if we could make $100,000 this episode. I don't know if we're going to quite hit that mark, but we started with $5,000, so we're about $37,000 up from where we started. So it's looking very good, and that's just 2 loads. Back at it again. That one has stopped filling, but I doubt if it's full. I would expect that the conveyor belts need to be moved around, so we'll park back a little bit further and give ourselves some room to maneuver. Let's go take a look and see what we're dealing with here. And I left this one running. That's not so great. It did fill up. Wow, that's pretty impressive. I am going to go ahead and scoot that conveyor system back before I pull the next trailer up. Let's get that knocked out, because I do think, though, you know what? It has pulled all the way to the back of here, so I guess I can leave it, and it ought to be able to pull these, and then probably a good portion of this over here too. Let's just see. I'd rather not do a bunch of extra work if I don't need to. So one way to find something out when you're not sure is to do an experiment. That's what we'll consider this, as a little experiment to see how much moving of the conveyor belt is actually necessary. Looks like I did not move my other trailer up quite far enough. We'll just come in at an angle here, like so. And we'll see how that goes. I will turn this tractor off this time while we haul this next load off. Back again with another 14,000 or so dollars in the bank. Our 100 grand goal is not looking too hot at the moment, but we're not going to fret just yet. We still have quite a bit left in that right silo. Looks like it stopped filling, and I'm certain it's not full. I'm guessing that our conveyors are just kind of out of range. Let's take a look. Yeah, only 38%, but we've emptied the left silo, which is fantastic. Now we just need to get everything repositioned in the right one. That is nice to know that it can empty a whole silo from that position without having to reposition it constantly. Very, very nice. Let's jump over here and move these guys a little bit. These have been one of the best investments we could have made for this kind of work. Really saving us hours and hours and hours of time. Maybe not the most realistic in the world, but, you know, if we wanted complete realism, we'd be doing this in real life. That's the way I look at it. And I'm going to have to fold that up to get over that little hump. There we go. And then unfold. And we should be able to park right about there and get everything we need. The conveyor belt is on. Oh, I turned it off. There we go. Now I just need to exit. Every time I went to exit the conveyor belt, I kept turning it off, which is not conducive to what I want to achieve here. Let's go ahead and drop this in position. About right there. And then we can back this trailer back up. Luckily, it doesn't have, I think they call it dolly steering. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but where the whole front axle turns, and it makes it just very tricky to reverse. I know, though, from reading comments and other things, that you actually can hook up trailers to the front of your tractor. So, for instance, let me just show you what I mean while this is filling up. Let's hop over here. This is a pro tip from a non-pro farmer. This is a dolly trailer, how this front axle, the whole thing turns, which makes reversing a nightmare. Because when you reverse, it can all go just completely goofy like that. But to make it a little bit easier, you can actually hook it up to the front of your tractor. Most tractors, I think, as long as they have a way to attach implements. Let's see if we can get on here with the forks. And if we do this, are we hooked up? No, not yet. There we go. If we do this, we can actually control it a little bit easier than if we were trying to reverse it. It just takes one of the question marks out of the equation, which is, you know, which way do I turn when I'm going in reverse to go the way I want to go. So if you're struggling with a dolly tipper or trailer, that's definitely helpful, and I have used that a couple of times since I learned about it. That one's still filling up. Let's go ahead and wait our turn. Looks like it's ready for us, so let's hop in here and get it scooted out of the way. How much do we have left? Oh, not very much. Is this going to be our next to last load for the day? If so, then I was way off of my $100,000 goal. I guess that makes sense at about $500 per 1,000 liters, and we had about 150,000 liters. You know, 75 grand or so makes sense. That's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. It's more than we've ever had in the bank, as far as I remember. Let's take this last load off. Actually, next to last load, because we are going to have a little bit in the other one. And then I'll get back here to the farm and we'll take a look at how much we ended up with. We're back at the farm, and my goodness, would you look at that. $87,000 in the bank. That is nice to see. And ended up a little closer to the $100,000 goal than I thought we would. That's all of our silage for today. And I think I'm going to head back home. It's getting dark. I'm going to have to sleep. Let's take a look at our field over here. I think it's still in good shape. Don't think it needs anything. It is growing, decent yield bonus, but our grass, on the other hand, has a 98% yield bonus, which means we'll have even more silage to sell the next time around. I'm not sure what our yield bonus was. I think it might have been 50%. So does that mean that we'll have 50% more than we did last time? I do not know. But let's go ahead, and before we rest, I'm going to look at the store and see if there's anything on sale that we can use. There is this. I guess it's just a tipper. No, not really interested in that. I don't think it has more capacity than the ones that we've been using, so we will pass. Let's go ahead and take a rest. Maybe tomorrow there will be some new things in the store that we can use. As predicted, look at the frosty grass. Very cold this morning. I can just feel the chill from looking at the crispness of the sky and the frost on the grass, presumably on the roofs of our buildings. Let's take a look over here. Sorghum is still growing, looking pretty good. Could be more fertilized, but that's okay. We'll make do this time around. Our grass is ready to harvest. I'm not 100% sure if this is the second growth stage or not. I didn't pay super close attention yesterday. It kind of looks like it, but it's also kind of frosty, so it's hard to tell. Let's take a look in the store and see if there's anything new on sale. Interesting. What is this? A forage mixer blends silage. If we had cows, maybe, but boy, that would be a lot of our money. That'd be all of our money, essentially. And then this is a slurry tanker. So I guess that's for if you have cows and you're wanting to use slurry. So nothing useful in the store. Maybe we can try buying one of our items here that we've leased. 23,000, that's a lot of money for not having anything new. 18,000. And how much would our tractor be? Because this is probably our biggest cost. $84,000. My goodness. So that's not going to be something that we're going to do at all. But you know what I was thinking? It's been a little while since we did any transport contracts. And those are a nice little way to break up the monotony of some of the other things that we're doing. Let's see what those look like. We don't really have a good setup for that anymore, but we could use our money to get a setup. 4,000. Yeah, the silage is so much better money than having to haul things around and just getting a couple $1,000s at this point. So I don't know. That's something I might consider. But if we did that, we would have to buy a new truck because our tractor's just far too slow. So we'd need a good truck probably to pull a flatbed. I wonder, because these Sprinter mods, they have the ability to load pallets into them. I wonder if we would be able to load pallets into a Sprinter. They're only $40,000. That would make quick work of transport contracts. But because they're not normal pallets like you have in the game normally, I don't know if it will work. So I don't know if it's worth the risk. We could lease one maybe. How much would it be? $2,000 feels like a lot to risk, but if it works, that would be pretty awesome. Let's go, I like these olive green colors sometimes, or black. Black looks really nice. Why don't we try it? We haven't experimented in a while. So since we're waiting on our sorghum to grow, oh yeah, we're going to need a harvester for that. Let's look at harvesters really quickly and see if do we have a modded one that's cheap? We do not. So we're going to have to lease a harvester. This is the cheapest one we can lease. It's going to be $3,000. That's not going to be real good income for that sorghum. So I may have to take a look at Mod Hub and get one of those older, cheaper harvesters to make more sense. And I think they're only about $20,000. But back to this theory with the modded Sprinter autoload. Let's see if I can say that right. I'm not sure what the difference between these two are. Oh, one's electric. That's interesting. I kind of like that idea. Let's do that. And let's change the color. We'll do a nice black. And let's lease this. We've got a little money to play with for once. And then let's go pick up a transport contract. Let's see, the bakery, from the dairy to the bakery. Those are pretty close, I think. That one may be a little further away. Grain mill. Let's try this, dairy to bakery, because I know those are kind of in the same area, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on the dairy. Let's go grab our leased Sprinter. Now the question is, oh wow, I just started that and I could barely hear it because it's electric. The sound is a little strange. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Let's take this off. It should be pretty quick, much quicker than a tractor, hopefully. And we should be able to grab what we need. There's the bakery. That's where we're taking our stuff to. This would be such an interesting evolution of this series, as if we're able to use a little Sprinter to do kind of short-run transport contracts. Just almost a courier service is what it reminds me of, because we're working within the same town most of the time. Now, did I mess up and get a contract that's just way too far away? Let's, is that road a one-way? I can't tell. Let's just go for it. No, this is a normal road. I thought this was a ramp for the interstate at first. That's why I didn't just hop on it. Let's see if this is gonna work. Where is the dairy? It's blinking on my map, but I haven't looked to see how far away it is. Oh, right there, perfect. Not too far at all. And that'll be another $3,000, which will cover the cost of this van easily. The initial cost anyways. Are there snowmen in their yard? Sorry folks, don't get up. I'm just taking a look at these snowmen really quickly. I did not know that snowmen appeared on the map. What's happening? What are you doing? Why is that snowman under the wheelbarrow? What a mysterious situation. I guess we'll have to investigate that at a later time. For now, let's get over to the dairy and pick up what I presume would be some milk for the bakery. Probably not cheese, though they might be making cheesecake. My favorite kind of cake. You never know. If they are, I'll definitely ask for a sample. Here we go. This electric van is throwing me off quite a bit. It does handle quite differently than the other vehicles in the game. There we go. All right, here's the moment of truth. If this works, it will be fantastic. If it does not, it will be problematic. The challenge sometimes that you'll have with these autoloader Sprinters is that sometimes you have to actually lift the goods into them. And I'm not sure if this is the same mod that I've played with before, but it sure looks like it's just not gonna work. And it's probably due to the fact that these pallets are not normal in-game pallets, I don't think. And I do think that if we had a forklift, that it would work. I could turn on super strength. Yeah. Don't look. Turn your eyes away because I'm about to turn on super strength. And that means that we're going to break immersion here for a minute. Let's see. I believe I have it active. Okay, let's see if this works. Avert your eyes as I completely cheat. Now, normally with these vans, this would just kind of load up into the van, but it looks like it's not working, though we might be able to fit them all. I mean, this isn't that bad of a cheat, is it? Maybe it is. How bad is this? I don't know. I definitely would expect them to have a forklift here. I will say that. Because you would presume they would be able to load vehicles up, but they don't have a forklift. So we could pretend that this is them loading it up with a forklift. Now that's never going to fit unless I really jam it in there. Let's see. This might just be a big mistake. Can we scoot that to the side? Kind of wiggle that in there. I hear talking in the game, which is uncomfortable. I'm not ready for the people in this game to start talking to me. Let's go here. Oh no. Gonna fit. Let's see. It does. I almost flipped my whole van, but it fits. My verdict is this is not worth it. If the auto load would have worked, I would have been totally into it. But this van does not want to load these pallets up. And maybe it's a configuration option. Maybe I've done something wrong. You can let me know. But I think I'm not going to pursue this any further. So what I'm going to do is actually sell this van, or return it rather, because I don't want to have the cost of ownership. Let's see. Return that. And the pallets are still there. We'll just cancel that contract. Can we do that? There we go. These are still there, and also we still have super strength on. There, I turned it off. It is handy to get you out of trouble when the game has issues or you do something rather unwise and get in a bad situation, but I don't like leaving it on very long. So now I guess the question is, what growth stage is this grass in? Can we mow today? I wish it told you the growth stage. It kind of looks like stage 1, just with a frosty glaze on it, which makes sense because it's obviously cold out today. Is this grass over here? Yeah, this is a stage 2 field. You can see the difference. So we're not ready to mow. We're not ready to harvest sorghum. So I think we might just call it for today. And when we come back in the next episode, I will have installed a mod with an affordable harvester in preparation for harvesting our sorghum field. But I think that's going to be it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.